Hi everybody, it's Roger here. I want to go ahead and start talking about something that's very important that's happening in the Twitterverse, and actually a little beyond that as well. Just recently, I think it was last Friday, November 16th, maybe 17th, I can't remember. Twitter just updated their new terms of service updates, and there's a couple of very Orwellian 1984-ish creepy control style stuff in there at this point. Basically, the first thing is, and this is something I think I've covered in a previous video, there are people who are getting their blue verification label taken away from them. And a lot of them are people who associate themselves as, I'm going to say nationalists. At this point, it's probably white nationalists. A lot of people would probably assume to categorize them as white supremacists, which is a label that I don't think is rightfully given to the majority of them. I think a lot of people who are Caucasian are actually rightfully upset that they're being targeted at this point and chastised. So yeah, the labeling is incorrect. You know, they are not white supremacists. They're, I think, maybe probably 0.01% or 1% of them are. So it's hardly an issue that Twitter should start changing the reason of using the verification method. I think, what is it, about 300,000 people who have a Twitter verification checkmark. Again, you know, here's another issue with that. They changed. My understanding of the verification was to let you know, to let the public know, hey, this is actually this person, and this account belongs to this particular person. In general, not to verify if the person is meeting Twitter Orwellian ideas. You know, so if you don't think like Twitter and a lot of the people that work for Twitter, then apparently you get that taken away. At least that's how I look at it now. So that's the first thing, and that's pretty dangerous in itself. I personally don't care if I have a badge or not. It's just going to be, you know, people are going to know me because all my accounts are going to be linked together in all my social media platforms. Why would I need that? You know, if I'm connected to myself on one, just because, like on YouTube, everybody would know that my Twitter account is connected, my Gab AI account, so on and so forth. So for me, it's a non-issue. But the other issue that is an issue for me is that Twitter says this last Friday they're going to start monitoring people both in and out of Twitter for any sort of hate speech, being part of any groups that deal with supposedly violent extremism, etc. Now, that's fine and dandy. I thought that was already part of the TOS. You know, you don't. It's simple. You shouldn't be bullying people to the point that it's illegal. You know, the illegal threats and illegal acts of violence and promoting and pushing, all that stuff. Yeah, I can understand some sort of regulation with that, at least understanding who the person is and putting a stop to it. What I don't get is pre-association and also monitoring outside of Twitter. How is Twitter going to accomplish that? What kind of, you know, connections do they have to basically monitor your activity outside of Twitter? And not only that, like, what else do they? I mean, that's the most. I'm sorry. That is the reason that I'm upset about this whole thing. Is now they're taking control of that. But what I don't understand is their connections. How are they going to accomplish this? How are they going to be able to start taking? How are they going to? Sorry, I was turning lanes here. How are they going to be able to start taking information outside of Twitter and using that to determine who's doing what? And this is basically an Orwellian way of managing things. And if they have connections to working with Google, the government, in order to implement something like this, we're looking at a really dangerous predicament here of basically groupthink, I guess, and and them controlling who gets to say what online. This is why it's so important to stop supporting, or at least do your best to maybe keep using these mainstream tech products for a while, like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, even at this point, until we start getting to that point that they will not allow us to do or say as we please within our legal confines. Once that bridge is broken, though, once they do start cracking down on people, supposedly with hate speech things, supposedly with justification, I would say right now, if you don't have one already, start creating accounts on gab.ai, start creating accounts on vid.me, start creating accounts on BitChute. Minds.com comes to mind if you like a Facebook type atmosphere, Facebook, Twitter type atmosphere, etc. There's all these platforms coming up that are challenging the mainstream equivalent, and I think right now it's high time to take advantage of those. Again, the boggling thing is how Twitter is threatening the public to track both Twitter use and outside use. Outside use is the big thing, outside of Twitter. So, I'm not sure if they're a lot of people online are saying, oh, they're doing it for revenue. It's revenue reasons. And some people are saying, no, they're doing it because the government is informing them that they have to start cracking down on this kind of stuff. I think it's some sort of measure of both, I would assume. I don't know. I think time will tell, just similar to all other crazy nonsense that's happening in this day and age. It's pretty sad that Twitter's taking this route. We knew the time was coming. Last year there was an article that was about this time where I forget the guy's name, the leader of Twitter, was basically starting to point out some things that they're going to be adding that they're now rolling out now. So, it's crazy. We'll see what happens. Anyways, if you have anything to add to this, I'd appreciate any sort of comments. You can always subscribe to my YouTube, Twitter, all my other secondary accounts at this point. BitChute is one that I am uploading to a lot now these days, so we'll go with that. Hope you guys have a great day. Take care. Bye.